Welcome to Research Resources. This video will show you some basic search scenarios using the EBSCO-hosted database, America History and Life with Full Text. So let's get started. This is the basic home page for EBSCO interface, and if you go to the top, you have a search field. Actually, there are many of them, but we're going to do a basic search, and we're going to type in a keyword that we'd like to search with. Let's say you're interested in the topic of slavery. We'll type that in as a keyword to get started. Click search and see what we get. Okay, so now we're at the results page for this particular keyword, slavery, and we can go through the results page and kind of get a sense of what we've got. One of the first things we might want to note is just how many results did we get? 19,420. That's a lot. The other thing we can see is that some of these results have the full text available. For example, this first one has an HTML full text and a PDF full text available. But the second one doesn't. If you hover above the tab, you can see that you'd have to check at the SJSU library and other databases to see where you might be able to obtain this one. So as you can go through, quite a number of these aren't immediately available. And we've got a pretty sizable selection of things, so it'd be nice to be able to limit this. So if we go over to the left, we can see refine results. And this gives us different ways we could limit our results. One of the ways we could do it is limit it to full text. So let's say you've got a paper due, you don't have a lot of time, you'd really like to be able to just print up the documents you find. You could click on full text. Let's see what happens. Okay, we've clicked on full text, and now we've whittled it down a fair amount, although we still have a lot of results, over almost 8,000. But now each and every one of these results has the full text available, and that can be a real time saver. Let's go back over to the limiters, and let's exclude, for example, the book reviews. Maybe we won't find them particularly useful to what we're doing, so we'll exclude book reviews. And now we're down to 3,664. Okay, it's getting a little more manageable. And maybe your instructor has asked that you include resources that have been peer-reviewed. You'll often find that this will happen. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're down to, well, just under 3,000, still a lot, and we are looking at items that have been peer-reviewed. They appear to be mostly academic journals from what we're seeing, not too surprising, and so you'll probably be articles within those journals, and each one has the full text available to you immediately, which can be helpful. But we still have a lot. So let's now look at the publication date. It's looking at publication dates from 1863 to 2018. Maybe we could limit that. So let's go ahead and see what we do. If we bring this all the way up to here, okay, now we've limited to the publication date, and that's dropped it down to 950. And sometimes your instructors will say, okay, I want you to look at something that's been recently published. And that's another way to limit it. Okay, so we've applied these limiters, or refined our search somewhat after the fact. We could have done this, applied limiters before. So let's go back to the search page. We'll do a new search. And we'll go back to the search page. Okay, here we are. So we're starting over again. And we could type in our keyword, slavery. We're interested in slavery. And now we scroll down past search options and go to limit your results. Okay, so here we go. We've got full text here. We could exclude book reviews here. And we could select only those items that have been peer-reviewed. And then we could also limit the publication date to a certain period of time. So say January of 2012 to December of 2018. And let's see what happens when we apply these limiters. Okay, we're down to 951. So we've got quite a lot still, but far less than we started with, and we have items that are immediately available to us and have been peer reviewed. So that can be helpful. The other thing we can do is just kind of look through where the search term slavery appeared. In this one, it appeared in the title, right? In the title. So it's appearing in the title for some of them, but it might be appearing as a subject in other places. For example, in this one, slavery is appearing in the subject. It's a subject, but it's not, it's also in the title as well. So it appears in the subject, slavery, United States, history. So that's kind of interesting. And the other thing we could do, just quickly, and maybe if you're sort of still exploring what it is you want to write about, you could go down here to subject and see where the search term came up, what other subjects were pulled when you pulled up the search term. So, for example, we have 49 that have to do with history and 44 that have to do with the Civil War. If you click here, show more, you can see even more sort of subject areas that came up. Emancipation, Abraham Lincoln, maybe you're interested in slavery and how it related to Abraham Lincoln, social conditions, Frederick Douglass, maybe slavery and as it relates to the history of capitalism. So these are kind of ways in which slavery as a keyword came up and brought up these different subject areas. Anti-slavery literature, another one. So let's try anti-slavery literature just to see what we get. Now that's only 8 results, but each of these results are going to do with anti-slavery literature as a subject area and slavery, because we had that as a term, a search term, and that also means that somewhere that term has appeared in the record, okay, in that record. And that has brought up just 8 items. So it's good to explore. There are lots of things you can do. The other thing to keep in mind is that you can see your search history right here. Click on that. So you can see what you've been doing. So don't fear that you've maybe moved on and forgotten something that might have been of interest later and you want to go back to it. You can go back to your search history here, and that can be helpful too. Okay, there's lots of options with this database. You might want to check out the next video that shows you some other features and other search ideas. I hope this helps. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.